What's going on, Spurs family? It's been a long time. It's been a very long time, but I'm back with some Spurs talk. I need to discuss, my thoughts on this team. The season is right around the corner, and so I have to give my thoughts before the season starts. And so I've been away most of the summer. I know around June. I was excited for the draft. I always wanted to get Stephen Castle. I think I did a video on him like in the spring before the draft, and I thought he would be a perfect fit for what we need. And so I was happy to see him drafted. I thought I was going to go and get into the summer, being more active now that my semester was over. I graduated and stuff like that. But when July came around, I started getting ill. I was in and out of the hospital. Doctors saying that I might have multiple sclerosis. I'm still going through tests. I had my MRI that came back normal on the 24th of September. So my next appointment with my neurologist is November 14th, I believe, and we're going to discuss more diagnostic testing. So I'm still going through it, but I'm gonna try to get through it. I'm gonna be trying to post videos every week, weekly. I probably ain't gonna be able to do it every day. So that's the bad news. The good news is I did pass my NCLEX exam in mid-September. I was nervous. I didn't think I was going to pass it because I was going through so much and I barely studied. But yeah, so that's why I've been away for most of the summer. But let's jump into the video. But actually, before we do, I want to bring to y'all attention Freedom Credit Union Banking. It's the banking that I use. If you sign up, open an account with my referral code, you can earn up to $200 in cash. And I mean, it's the most easiest money you can make. You don't even have to keep the account. Just open it, earn yourself some money, I guess. Whatever. So let's jump into some Spurs basketball because that's what we're here for. And I will leave a link in the description. But we here for some Spurs basketball. We ain't here for the nonsense. So this team this year, I really wasn't happy with the offseason. I thought we could have done better this offseason. And I ain't meaning like getting a splash signing. I mean, I thought we needed more, some more defense. We needed to sign players that really get after it defensively. I think our team is woeful when it comes to that side of the ball. Now, offensively, we can be a lot inconsistent. We very inconsistent throughout the year. Offensively, defensively, we was always kind of horrible. The team defense is horrible. Individual defense is horrible. It wasn't enough grit on that side of the ball. We started off with an experiment with Sohan at the point guard. I thought that was horrible, but we did play better with Trey Jones as the point guard. We seemed more solid with Trey Jones at the point guard, and I expect us to be better with a player of Chris Paul caliber at point guard, but he's up there in age. We signed Harrison Barnes. He was quite a good defender earlier in his career, but his last few seasons, he's been up there. His defensive rating's been like 119, 118, 117 around those areas. So he's not, one of those top defenders as he used to be, on that side of the ball. But, I guess he's capable. He's smart. He can play good team defense. So if we can somehow get better on that side of the ball, and I thought we was, going to try to get some dogs on that side of the ball when it comes to this off season. So the big question that I do have is with Chris Paul. Like, the big question is he going to be able to play a full season? We know he's not. Over the last few years, 5 years maybe, he get hurt in the playoffs and etc. Or he's always ending up on the sidelines. And I guess that's where Stephen Castle come into play, because maybe he can relieve him or pick up after him when Chris Paul gets injured, because he will get injured. I don't wish that on anybody, but he will get a knock this year. That's for sure. Father Time never loses to anybody. And but it's good to have a mind like him on the roster. It's good to have a player like that where Stephen Castle or Trey Jones can learn from, or even Blake Wesley to an extent. So it's good to have him. But my question is, how good is he going to be for the long haul of the season when it comes to fitness and being able to play? Um, his defense now, he's a good defender. I mean, he's still his defensive ratings is better than Harrison Barnes. So, his defensive rating is better than most of our teams individually. So hopefully he brings some of that defensive knowledge. You know, you don't have to be super athletic to play defense. You just have to absolutely want it. And I mean, athleticism helps, but you know, defense is basically effort and grit, and that's something that Chris Paul always had coming out of Wake Forest. So that was something that I was upset with this offseason. I thought we was going to get a lot more dogs on that defensive side of the ball. But I guess Victor is probably our best defender. I think if we can somehow play good team defense around Victor protecting the basket, then we can be pretty good on defense. But I'm not sure we'll make a huge leap. I would be surprised if we make a huge leap there. But you know, we just have to see. We just have to see because teams probably strategize by pulling Victor out of the paint, you know, and making things more, you know, open so the lane can be more open for penetration. But, you know, we just got to see how it goes. But so far, he's our best defender. We have to, you know, build around that defensively, play good team defense, you know, chase him off the 3-point line. But don't give up on the play when you chase him off the 3-point line. You know, you go out there and, you know, you shuffle to him. You know, I think not even just the Spurs, but the whole league doesn't know how to shuffle to the defender. They just run and jump, and you can easily just pump fake and step to the side and shoot the three. You got to shuffle to them with your hand up, you know, and contest the shot. And I think people just run and they just fly in the air. All you got to do is throw a pump fake, and they just flying in the air. But, you know, chase them up the 3-point line by shuffling to them, hand up, have them go past you, but not go past you, but, you know, they put the ball on the floor to try to penetrate. You tail them or try to get in front of them or, you know, shadow them towards where Victor is. And that's how you play good defense. And I think that's what we have to do. It just annoys me when a person is wide open and they just run and they just jump 50 feet in the air and they get caught with a pump fake, and now the dude got a super wide open jump shot, nobody within distance of him. You know, we got to get back to the fundamentals. I think the NBA lacks fundamentals. That's why I enjoy watching college basketball. College basketball, you know, is more fundamental than NBA. NBA is just run and gun. But yeah, so I'm very concerned on the defensive side of the ball. I'm concerned with Chris Paul. Is he going to? I know he ain't going to stay healthy the full season. So Stephen Castle also, I don't want him being on the off ball, even though being off ball is something that's required for any pro player, I think. But I would like to see Stephen Castle at that 1 instead of the 2. But any way to get him time, I'll be happy because I think he's a stud. I think he's going to be an incredible player for us with his size. He's a player that has good defense. Well, he was rated for having good defense in college. So hopefully he bring that with him. And, you know, we can be a more solid, you know, defensive unit as the years go by. So I think that was definitely one of my favorite additions to the Spurs this year. What else? Like offensively, we already know Victor's our one guy. Chris Paul is going to be serving him up all year. We already know that. He's going to get a lot of looks that he wasn't getting this past year because we didn't have no point guard to be able to get him the ball. It was many times where he was wide open. The players just didn't pass it. Chris Paul is going to make sure he get that ball. And that's something I'm excited about seeing. But we need a number 2 scoring option because, like I said, Chris Paul can't be that number 2 scoring option because he's not going to be able to play a full 82-game season. So this is where this is where Devin Vassell needs to come in at because I believe that Devin Vassell he needs to step up when we need him to. It's plenty of examples last season where he would just disappear when Victor is on the bench. He just he plays, which you that's something that you would want. He plays within the offense, but sometimes you just need to take over. Definitely, if Victor is in foul trouble, you the guy. You are best offensive weapon. You need to take over. You need to step up and put a foot mark on the game, and that's something Vassell don't do. He plays within the game. He plays like a role player. We don't need him to be a role player. We need him to be the number 2 option, and that is something that I'm hoping he makes a leap forward this year. And Keldon Johnson, I'm glad that we still got him. I think he'll be a solid player for us off the bench. Is he the third option? I don't think he'll be a third option on a championship team, but he's a player that you need on your team because he brings energy, tenacity. He's a player that shows that he wants it. He need to work on his game defensively, but he's a player that leaves it out there on the floor. I'm excited to see what Sohan brings. He can guard a lot of positions, but he need to do better at that because his defensive rating wasn't that good either. I think he was like 120 or around 119. He was, up there for defensive rating. We need a player like that to be, more in a 110 rating or try to sneak into that 107 mark. I think he got the potential to do it. Like I said, as years pass by, I think we have players that have those defensive, physical attributes. They just need to put it together. So that's what I have. I have no idea what this team would do. I will probably make my prediction next week, or no, I'm gonna make my prediction after the start of the preseason. I'll make my prediction of what I think we will fall at this year. And to be honest, I'm hoping for improvement defensively. I'm hoping that Chris Paul can stay, can play at least 60 games. At least 60 games. I'm hoping Vassell take a step forward, be a more assertive on offense, and leave his foot mark on games. I'm looking for Victor to be Victor, continue to do what he did last year and take it to a next level. And hopefully we pull out a whole bunch of wins this year. Hopefully we do, and hopefully we continue to build onto the next season. With that said, that's it for some Spurs talk. And I, see y'all next week on Spurs Talk with the Hano. Peace and blessings.